Greetings everyone, and Great here of another Age of Empires 4 replay. Spawn on the right side as a Cyan English, we have Louemt. Spawn on the top left side as the orange Holy Roman Empire, we're 3DB. I'm gonna fast forward a little bit. Of course, it's the early eco game.
Ready. Inti.
We do have now the Minework Palace deployed on out, as well as the Council Hall as well. Looks like Orange collected a good number of sheep. Cyan as supposed to collected more sheep. Minework Palace. It is, of course, acts like a blacksmith. Technologies research costs 40% less, 40% faster. Contains technologies unique to this landmark. Building, of course, you get the emergency repair upgrade. Unique techs also got the marching drills, increased movement speed of infantry and religious units. Riveted chainmail, of course, gives +2 melee armor for spearmen and horsemen, so make your trash units much more durable. Steel barding grants knights and range +2/+2 armor, make your knights much more durable. Also, we don't see any barracks deployed out over here just yet, which may cause a bit of a problem. Of course, got the 2 archer ranges, but can only deploy out archers, crossbowmen, and hand cannoneers. Nothing special, pretty standard. We got now these sheep now being collected by these villagers. So they got popped in the head by the staffs that they were carrying. Scout going around. We do have these archers. Good number of archers here. Longbowmen, 2 spearmen. You got the scout patrolling around, but neither side's being aggressive just yet. He's just getting aggressive defense, I guess. You now have the early man-at-arms upgrade. Now do you have these forces start pushing this way forward? You got a good number of defensive archers here. Longbowmen generally, statistically, are better than regular archers. Longbowmen are better than regular archers by a small margin, getting +1 damage and +1 range. Of course, they have access to palings, but neither side is one horseman, and I doubt palings will be useful versus scout, especially since the scout only does 1 melee damage either way. These forces are making his way forward. May see engagements. Cyan Scout does support the force and does get cleaned on up. Losing the scout is somewhat important because it does deny him from scouting the scout out. We do also now have some early man-at-arms deployed on the field, which should be very effective versus these archers, at least durable-wise. Let's see, do we see any of these unique upgrades have been researched? What was this one right here? That was like a... What was that, +2 attack? Armor, horseman. There was something that got researched there and I can't remember what it was. What was it? It was something... I can't remember what it was. A good number of man-at-arms right here. They do, of course, have 3 ranged armor. And the archers do, of course, have 6 attack, +5 bonus damage versus the light melee infantry, but these are heavy melee infantry, so these archers will do 3 damage per arrow versus the man-at-arms at the moment. And man-at-arms do have 120 health in comparison to, say, spearmen, which only have 90 health. Also got these guys sort of tiptoeing around. Man-at-arms will receive quite a bit of fire there. One of them does receive a pretty good volley there. Does lose one of the man-at-arms. You can't be losing them all too much. Another man-at-arms does go down there. Now we've got the castle network benefits. Start pushing his way forward. All of this man-at-arms looks like... Oh, nope, that one does barely survive. Oh yeah, as well, I need to bring up the Rumble chat so I can see what's going on and get live. This force, of course, going around a little bit. Archers. Orange doing a good job of keeping his opponent contained to his base. He doesn't have to worry about defenses for the time being. Yeah, I think that's a good amount of gold there. We do now have the riveted chainmail, giving this spearman +2. Oh, that's melee armor, not pierce armor. So that would be nice versus the man at arms, but not very good versus the longbowman. We do now have Sign going for the King's Palace, which is a town center-like building. Barracks here is not built, has been interrupted. And Orange is going for a nice little patrol force around here. Team's opponent inside his base. Fast forward a little bit because it looks like they're sort of dancing around. Cyan may be going for the next age in order to get out some knights. I'm getting all my words butchered up. Well, if we don't have any stables built out, so that may be a false belief. But now we do have the King's Palace now deployed on the field. Acts like a town center with all behaviors, technologies, units, and bonuses. But other than that, nothing too special other than you don't have to spend stone on it. Good damage there onto these forces. Scout does receive some damage there, so we actually rebuilt the Scout, does get out. King's Palace does get garrison, could abandon the garrison. We have a handful of man-at-arms region. And now we do have the man-at-arms upgrade, as well as the armor-clad, giving the man-at-arms +2/+2 armor. So maybe trying to overwhelm these archers with heavy armor. These forces are starting to get slowly cleaned on up. He's not doing a good job of countering out his opponent, is he? I would still say the knights would have been a bit of a better option, but over here, got these man-at-arms now advancing forward. You need this man-at-arms back at home. You got a handful of swordsmen or horsemen here. Now these man-at-arms have 6 armor, and now they will sustain, what, 1 damage per arrow? 6 range damage, so yeah, he will only sustain 1 damage per arrow, so these man-at-arms get enough time and do clean up these archers. Oh yeah, now I remember the upgrade here. It was the move faster. Infantry moves faster. More man-at-arms streaming on in. He needs to regroup. Streaming them one at a time is not a good idea. Now his opponent's pushing forward his horsemen. Horsemen do 10 melee damage. 4/6 damage versus range and siege. But the man-at-arms can withstand quite a bit of their own abuse from the horsemen as well with the 6 melee armor. But he simply does not have enough man-at-arms. He needs to get a pretty sized group of them. We do now have the Ragnell's Cathedral being pulled out right here. Or how to pronounce it? Regnitz Cathedral, which acts as a monastery. All rugs generate additional 100% gold while garrison. And yep. So if he claims some relics, that would be great for his extra gold generation. Even if he does get some range attack upgrades on his archers, those man-at-arms can still withstand quite a bit of beating. Right now they do 6 damage, and his opponent has 6 armor, so he will need 2 additional damage in order to get 2 damage per arrow versus these man-at-arms. And he's starting to group them up, which should be, and they should be pretty effective versus archers. Also, right now, Orange need to pull out crossbowmen. It's going for the veteran archer upgrade, which will be nice, but I don't think it will give him any additional damage. It'll give him more durability to survive against these man-at-arms, but that's about it. Do now have looks like a relic site being captured up, or secret site I should say. That's getting +2/+2 armor, and looks like these man-at-arms will get overwhelmed. These man-at-arms are going to find an angle there onto these archers, does get one of them killed off now. And these man-at-arms are very, very good at the doing. Looks like he's going to stand there and fight, which is actually not a good idea. He needs to continue microing them. The man-at-arms are punching much higher than the weight currently, but still not high enough. So got the veteran longbowman upgrade being researched, which is very good. So we got the monk capturing the secret site. This secret site has been paused, not being captured up at the moment. And the secret site's not being captured up either. All these horsemen are quite wounded. And let's start making their way forward. Orange to claim the secret site. And these villagers are going to be making their way to the town center now, trying to avoid any additional damage. Just inside the garrison there, very nice. None of them do go down. Now they've got the man-at-arms facing forward. Do have a couple longbowmen, veteran longbowmen. Now they have 8 range, 8 attack, compared to the veteran archers, which has 8 attack and 5 range. What was the actual range of this? I think I was looking at the wrong line. 7 range. So the longbowmen do have now 2 additional range, which can be very nice to engage. Orange now capturing multiple secret sites. This one is not being captured up. He does have a monk or relic next to it. He can quickly capture it up and start applying a relic victory pressure on his opponent. Both sides going for their archer attack damage, which of course increases their damage by 1. And right now they are doing 8 damage, so they'll give them 9 damage. The man-at-arms current armor is 6, so that will give them 3 damage per arrow at the moment. Right now they're doing 2. A 50% damage increase versus the man-at-arms, which is quite significant to say the least. Cyan should eye some more melee armor. He could get 2 levels of melee armor, or range armor, should say, and that will get his man-at-arms to 8 armor, making his opponent's archers do 1 damage per arrow, which will be massive. Plus, the monk does get inside the tower there, and apparently monks can fire arrows out of the tower. Got a pretty sizable engagement here. Neither side has their... Oh, we do have orange at their... Both sides their ranged attack damage, and now getting range armor for Cyan. Knights do have very good range armor. 8 range armor, so they're doing 1 damage. Not getting palings out for his longbowman. His man-at-arms have to stand and fight against these knights. And we also got a handful of crossbowmen now brought up by orange, which will be very effective for his man-at-arms. Cyan's just not doing a good job countering his opponent. That unique technology from the blacksmith getting all his foot infantry units more move speed has been very, very good, because a lot of these guys just move around so quickly, and so you can mix his horsemen as archers quite reasonably well without having horse archers or the ability to be deployed. And now the man-at-arms going to be, or the knights are going to overwhelm his opponent's force, and now Cyan will likely lose. He had fast castle. He definitely should have gotten knights of his own to overrun those archers. If he would have done that, he would have been fine. His opponent's landmark is what probably allowed Orange to win this game so handily. But Cyan's not back in the game at the moment. You know, in my opinion, he has lost. Oh, nope, the second side has been decaptured. See, he's gotten all the 3 unique technologies as well. these knights just have a ridiculous amount of armor. 8 armor. Holy crap. You need a crossbowman to deal with those things. I don't even think spearmen would do a lot of damage to them. And plus 23 to cavalry, so they would do some good damage to these knights. But right now they have 230 health as well as they have that high armor and a good reserve of health.
Gute Arbeit. Schöner Bau.
Vorwärts! Verstecket euch nicht hinten!
Over here we got these forces advancing forward. Knights trying to engage the knights, so he's finally transitioned to his own knights. But right now they have 4 armor versus 8 armor. And to get up at this point, we do got the Spring Gold upgrade. He's also outside the influence, so he cannot use the emergency repair ability. Knights are now inside Cyan's harvesting area, so it's not looking good for him. And note this formation of his farms. He's maximized his farming location. Rather than go for a nice neat grid, he went for a giant H. Relics are now being pursued. He can put short of these knights. He have to be careful with these spearmen with his knights. We do also got the Age 4 landmark, the Palace of Swabia. Axe towns in it, villagers 200% faster and at 66% less cost. Jeez. Granted, it is an Age 4 landmark. The cost to build this landmark is reduced by 20%. They know that this thing's unlikely to be built and be useful most of the game, but this does allow them to, if you lose a lot of buildings, you can quickly rebuild them at a cheap rate as well. This basically acts like production of, as 3 town centers at reduced costs to support the cost of 1 town center, but reduces the rate of times 3, which actually is quite significant. Looks like Orange's army has finally been cleaned up in this line. Cyan still has a superior number of villagers, and now we've got a 4 to keep being pulled up by Orange. He also does have this 4 relic just in case he wants to try to go for conversion. That circus site has been captured, unlike he's going to recapture this one.
Something to shed.
Don't swing around me.
We now have another keeping him push on his way forward. He may want to find some way to get the emergency repair. Be a whole line of structures to get over there. It could be very handy. Oh, relic garrisoned as well, so he's able to increase armor by 50%, damage by 35%. That's why he had that monk on the front line, not for conversion, but for that benefit. Knights now advance 14, some good damage there onto this keep or outpost. We got more of these knights advancing forward, pillaging some more of this fortification. Right now, the knights have plus 9, 10 armor. Jeez. The longbowmen have 10 damage. These longbowmen will do 1 damage apiece. The veteran spearmen are still outclassed quite a bit as well, so you get good bonus damage. Carlos getting some good healing on the knights as well, so they're even more vulnerable. And finally, Cyan finds to pull out some crossbowmen. They do, of course, get plus 9 for heavies, but honestly, with that 9 ranged armor, they're still doing 12, receiving 12 damage. That's not a whole lot. But counter units now became a standard soft counter unit instead of a hard counter unit. Another keep now put on the field. He is pushing forward these keeps, getting a monk relic inside of it, or the monk relic inside of it itself, not the monk. Going for a cannon placement as well. And now science space is being pushed in by these keeps. Falling on back. Science force is being whittled down. He has an inferior force. And now these knights are pushing way over to this region. Doing some good damage there on those knights. Those now are starting to get on hit. We got the archers getting some good damage there onto the crossbowmen as well. And a wolf is now fighting some forces as well. Last thing he needs at the moment. We now have elite knights on the field. More and more spearmen being pulled in now. There's nothing on these keeps at the moment. And he even starts seeking down one in melee, so has the other one to support as well. And the cannon placement can do some great work. We now have a counterweight trebuchet being pulled out, trying to deal with these keeps. Slowly but surely, it will. Very slowly. Wolf is starting to bite some of these forces as well. Knights still running around trying to get some good damage in. Those knights are just going to be backing on off. Wars are getting more and more forces on the front line. And also now the council hall is being under siege. We do now have a bombard cannon. Keeps under fire. Keeps now seeing more and more fire. Now he has to utilize emergency repairs. He managed to get his ability of emergency repairs up the front line thanks to that nearby town center. Now emergency repairs being activated to give him an additional 3,000 repair. Which actually is very, very significant. Maganel pushing forward to get a volley there, but Wolf and Maganel does roll a miss. Now the trebuchet is getting overran by these knights. Spearmen trying to deal with these knights, but having trouble pinning them down. More trebuchets being employed on out. One landmark is currently down. So I'm just gonna see the okay. 2 out of 4 landmarks now destroyed. There's a third one here, and the fourth one's here. Got the Berkshire Castle now firing on the field, and Scientist going back on off, realizing the game is over. This is Anne Great saying thank you for watching, and on to next replay.